quick second to acknowledge how giant my monstera has gotten. Like, take a look at this. This is ridiculous. I have not replanted this thing literally this entire time except for once. And it just keeps going. And yeah, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge that. Anyway, hi, it's Lee. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a hot minute, but I have a lot to update if anybody cares. As the years have gone on doing these bullet journaling videos, these videos turned into mini like snippet diaries, public diaries of my life. So with that all being said, let's just hop right into it. Okay, unboxing, we love this. So is my favorite part of opening a new book. You know, like I don't think I can ever make these unboxing videos that people like make so aesthetically pleasing because it's always so snug inside. Anyway, love this design, but I will admit that when I did order this initially, I wasn't 100% sure on the color of this one, just because I'm not used to like muted colors like this. But I love the connection with the other light purple one that will be in the second half of the year. And having this color is perfect for starting my books in the fall. I won't pretend that this is the first time I've opened this because it's not. It's the first time I've opened it for the camera, so that's good, because older viewers will know that I actually tend to sketch in things prior to starting. So not a true unboxing, but it's still really pretty, especially the quote on the back. That ne das la beau de... Okay, no, I'm not even gonna try. Paris is screaming. We are starting with the cover page as normal, and I wanted to keep the vibes of the first one that I did, but this time, because the cover is like the Parisian theme that Notebook Therapy released like a while ago, but this is now like an old line. I decided to combine it with the Parisian theme and fall because for people who are new here, I like to start my books at the beginning of my birthday instead of January, basically because it feels like more of a real true start to a brand new year. Plus, like it helps when I've been turning my bullet journals like not just a mix of like creative planning, but also like mini journals in a way. Like at the back of the book, they always have that little pocket that I really like to keep little trinkets and stuff instead of doing my old smash book thing. But this cover page's design was inspired by a couple of different versions I saw on Pinterest, but the idea mixing of the Parisian with the fall was because 2 years ago, I think it was now, oh, actually borderline 3 for new people. Bit of a dark time of the channel, but my book that had a very similar color to this ended up getting stolen when my truck got broken into. They stole everything, all my bags, and my bullet journal was one of the casualties in said bag. I had a design during that September using these like fall themed papers and cats, like Parisian cats. I'll leave the link up there if you'd like to see the setup of that video. So I thought that since the front cover of this book is very similar colors and it's September all over again, that I would kind of pay homage to that year, and obviously not celebrating it because that was really shitty that happened, but to try to redo those two themes into this year. And like a lot of those themes from the book that got taken, I want to redo on either on the channel or just redo in general. And I think it turned out like really beautiful. It's the only downside is that the paper that I had to use was like really thick scrapbooking paper, so it does make it a bit hard to close. So I had to weigh down my book for a couple of days just to like make it flat and sit again. But I love how it looks. It was very simple and quite fast to do. Now moving on to the future log. Now, this page is actually one of the more simpler pages, but for some reason I had such a creative block with it, I was just struggling super hard with it. So after I plastered down all of these little pre-written calendars, I pulled out the beautiful washi tape that came with the Parisian set. And you can tell how long it's been on my windowsill. Those light stains are pretty intense. And actually, they were formed because literally on my desk sits this little guy. So his butt made the spot. So he kind of saved the design, but not quite, not quite. But back to Future Log. I struggled with the design a bit because I had the idea to originally use one of the washi tapes from that box on the bottom here, like I did on the first half of my 30th year. But the washi tape was a bit too thick to do that, and I didn't have enough like writing room after putting things down here. So I had to use like a really old washi tape of these pumpkins, but at the same time, I'm not like super happy with it because it's a very repetitive design, but not like in a blendable way. So I don't know. What do you guys think of that? But it was really my only option that I actually liked how it looked. So I just struggled with this page a lot until I finally was just like, you know what? Done is better than perfect. But at least with the little extra stickers that came with the box, I'm really low here. But at least with the little box that came with the washi tape stickers, it helped add a little bit of texture, even though I didn't add too much. And by the end of this Future Log, I actually, it felt too plain. So that's when I whipped out the cats stickers, but you'll see them a little bit later in the setup. Even when I was coloring the YouTube and Instagram icons, like I struggled with that too. So it was just a pain in the ass, but I used these super cute kitty stickers and added those in. And it's just, I don't know, something about having the cats and then Paris. I love the vibe that it gave. And these ragdoll cats, oh my God, that is like a true dream of mine to own a ragdoll, because after my cat Duffy passed away, both Snowball and Duffy, brother and sister, but Duffy was the more one that looked like a ragdoll. I swear there was some ragdoll in her. I knew that when I eventually have money to like move out on my own and do the whole true adulting thing, that I will be getting a ragdoll to make sure they have the same personality as my old cat. But anyway, so moving on to the index page, we went super simple. I wanted to keep the similar design that I used last time, because like I said, like I was really super happy with how I designed my 30th year, both books for last year. Little tweaks here and there, but overall I really vibe with that design. So I just was basically trying to recreate some parts of that, but with the new colors and theme aesthetic with it, if that makes any sense. Same outline, but just like different colors and stickers. So it still looks very unique. And this book was actually so much easier for me to make too, because my best friend knows me so well. My best friend got me this a bit ago, but after I made my last setup, and it's this little Cricut slicer thing. Many years ago, I got like these other one that it was like a dark brown one as a gift, and it worked beautifully until I lost the handle somehow, so I only had those like random blades. But now having this one from my bestie, it's blue, it matches my vibe, and it's so much sharper now that it's like, I was in due need of a new slicer. This part was actually inspired by one of Journal Away's yearly setups. I forget which one I watched, because I watched like a hodgepodge of them to just kind of like create my like own version of a bunch of hers. Because sometimes I really like hers, but they're a little bit too complicated for my busy schedule. And like now that I have a new job, we're getting there, I promise. The story time is coming. I don't have time. So that actually like segues me into my reasoning for making this page. I wanted to have a very clear drop for a very, what's the word I'm looking for? A very relevant quote, and have a very clear section for writing goals this time, because the last time I set up a brand new year, it gave me the goal. I only had the section to write goals for the decade, not for like that specific half of the year, which was really stupid. There should have been 2 separate pages for that. Kind of fucked me up for the rest of the year, because I kind of just lost my focus, and my focus wasn't laid in the right spot. Ultimately, it ended up working out in like a different way, because the main focus was supposed to be YouTube, and then it turned into other stuff at work, and then it just hodgepodge of problems and hurdles to go over to get to where we are now. But was it worth it? Who knows? We'll see. But this quote is actually from one of Casey Neistat's more recent videos. I think I talked about it on the channel before. I just can't remember what video I related it on. But it goes, you spend your 20s figuring out, you spend your 30s doing it, and you spend your 40s enjoying it. And obviously I'm right on the cusp here, and I'm actually officially doing it. I might not be paid officially on YouTube yet, even though I am monetized on the Leaf Factor, just not quite enough monthly views to actually like generate an income, because you have to make it like at least $100 a month to actually like get something deposited by Google AdSense. So that hasn't quite happened yet, but we're getting there. But now I have a job where I'm actually still doing this thing. It's just for not specifically my things, it's for other stuff. So again, we're getting close. I'm just dropping all these little hints. So I wanted a clearer space to write down my work goals and then life goals. Very, very concrete, because I learned from doing But I lost my train of thought. This is what happens when I have to like stop recording. I can't wait until I can afford a new camera. But with this new job, I'm probably going to be able to afford that sooner than later. But anyway, okay, so yeah, I wanted a clear, that's where I was leaving. I wanted a very clear spot to work the work goals and life goals, because when I learned from Struthless's half-year reset that I completely filled out for the second half of my year, I realized just how important laying out your goals are, like hyper specifically, not just like in general terms. It gave me a much clearer road path to get to where I need to go, even though some goals will be a little bit slower than others. To add my motivation, I printed out an old photo, not super old. This was literally just from last October. It was a celebration of all three of my friends, well, three, I'm the third person, our 30th birthdays. My two best friends, they actually have their birthdays in the end of December, but we all really like fall, so we were like, let's just celebrate all of our birthdays at the same time, even though it was closest to mine, at my cabin, and we pretended we were hobbits. It was a fun time, and it's not like the best quality because I just like printed it from my phone to the computer, but I did make a Insta Polaroid printing out thing too. I have the new thing up there, but that's something I will show off on my flip through for the rest of the year. But that's probably not going to come out for a little bit just because things are so busy. Moving on to the next set of pages, the basically list pages. These are very, very self-explanatory. It's just the Let's Adult and things to check out. So not necessarily a brain dumping page for Let's Adult. I had this in my last book, but this time I decided to put the things to check out and it together. It just made more sense having them back to back. I wanted just a spot to like brain dump everything that I know I need to purchase and to do in general, that even if it's not considered content. Because then at least like if you brain dump everything out onto the page, and then every month you can just like take one or two things from that list. And if you do it right and actively, then you should have zero stuff at the very, very end of the year. And that's the hope now. That list used to be so freaking long when I first started bullet journaling, but it's actually progressively getting shorter and shorter. So I can attest, this works. Unless you're also like me, who decides to add new stuff all the time, and then the list is just never ending. Do I have a problem? Probably, but we're not going to address it right now. We're just going to keep moving on and hoping for the best and just keep on trying. We're on our second last spread now. This one we did with the 30th, and it worked out really well to just do the first half of the year's book, having a financial tracker for the whole year, and then just like periodically going back to that book. So it made it easier just to have financial tracker completely in that, and then the second half of the year focus on the half-year reset as the main thing. There was another point I wanted to make with that. Oh yeah, and plus it just makes a better video for you guys to watch, because you're not re-watching me do the same financial tracker just in a slightly different design so close in the year. No, this is probably going to be a continuous thing, since I wanted one of my main goals in my 30s to get my financial shit together. And great news, as of right now, I almost have, was it 6 or 7 months? let's go with 6 just to be safe. If I have more, then it's a happy surprise. 6 months of an emergency fund, which is a pretty tall order considering the fact I only had like a freaking minimum wage job for the past year, almost year now, just short of a year, and I worked my ass off to be out of debt. So I'm very, very happy with that. I basically had to have no life again. But when you're making so little money, it's a much slower process. But my dad's been teaching me how to do investments too, so it's been building a lot faster than if I was just putting it in an emergency fund. Oh shit, my camera died. I guess we're gonna be waiting for that. Shit. Oh my god, I realized that whole last rant was not recorded on my mic, so it's terrible sound quality. I am so sorry. I will try to keep it short. On to the news. This is the problem with this old camera. It keeps dying on me, and I don't have another front-facing camera, so I'm sorry, I don't even remember where I left off, so we're just gonna go off of what we were saying here. Finance, best in the first half of the book. Better to keep the second half of the book to do their half-year reset and move forward from there. But anyway, so I was almost done this tracker when the most annoying thing happened, and it slowly just died. You gotta be joking.
You either...
Looks much better now. And I also got this brand new alphabet stamp set because older viewers will know I really, really suck at drawing those kind of letters. It's so time consuming, and I just wanted the quick way. Be careful when you're using this because damn, this ink that I have dries super, super slowly, and if you press a little bit too hard, then it has those like weird lines there. Yeah, and I also kind of messed up on like the spacing, so anyways. So, last spread is the highlight reel. Now, I loved doing the highlight reel for last year because even though the second half of the year was definitely a lot less happy times, like, I thought the end of my first half was hard, but it only got harder from there, and it's only starting to look better. But when I was putting in the happy memories in the first half, I ended up running out of room, so I ended up like getting rid of, I think it was like a month or two, and just filling it in with more happy memories from a previous month. So this time for the highlight reel, I made it a few more extra pages, but I gave more space for the Polaroid so I could add some more, and then gave October 2 slots, and December 2 slots, and November just 1, and kind of worked around like that. But the way I tried to do the outlines of the colors was absolutely horrendous, but I tried to salvage it with just like the straight ruler and then like using that white ink thing as like a frame around it. So hopefully when the pictures actually get put in, it's not going to look as terrible as it started. But I just added like my own little quotes that I saw all over Pinterest and did my best to make it look hodgepodgey, but still cute. Alright, and with that, here is my final flip through of my first half of my year 31. That was a very wordy way of explaining that, but here's the final flip through. I really like how it looks. I still definitely like having the blues more, but that's just because I'm favorable to that. But having the first half of the year be the fall colors still makes me very happy to look at, especially with my friends and I being in a total fall, aesthetically pleasing, full of leaves in our little hobbit costumes. It just trying to bring as much happiness back to myself as possible. But as promised, now that we're at the end of the video, I will tell you guys the big news that I've been hinting at. I officially have a job as a marketing coordinator. What? I got promoted at my job. I was at a regular desk customer service job. Then I got promoted to being the marketing coordinator. I can tell you that it's for a mall. But essentially, their social media needed some help, and through some trials and tribulations of some previous marketing management. I ended up getting responsibility to take over social media since my boss knew about his channel and the Leaf Factor, and it was slightly mortifying to find out that he has seen his words, everything. Very, very embarrassing, because it's fun content, but when you hear it from a corporate guy, it's suddenly like, you want to die inside. But he let me give it a go, and it went well. My coworkers helped me with a few ideas, and basically I had 3 months to... They decided to put out an ad for marketing coordinator. I applied and I got the job. So that's pretty freaking cool. I knew that putting in effort into learning new skills was going to be beneficial, especially when it's something that like I really love doing. I still want to have YouTube be my full-time job. I mean, that is the ultimate goal, or at the very least making a strong income from it on the side. But even though that hasn't quite happened yet, being able to still work on those skills that I can do on my own channels, but be paid to do it, I'm very, very happy about it. But at the same time, I've also been like going through this roller coaster of emotions these past now 2 weeks of it. I've never felt imposter syndrome before until like now. Like, I have an office. Like, this is weird, but I'm gonna try my best and we'll see how it goes. It is only a temporary contract though, so I'll be going right back to the front desk. But regardless, it's something that I can actually have on my resume that's more than just retail and my own social media stuff. Because as much as I want YouTube to be my thing, like sometimes you just don't know when it's gonna pop off and make money, you know? Like, it could be next week, it could be another 5 years from now. Let's hope it's not another 5 years from now. I'm kind of tired of waiting at this point. But you know, you need something stable, especially in this economy. So with that being said, this is turning into the longer version of an update, and editing me is gonna have a time trying to edit this down. So, I think 13-year-old me would be pretty damn proud and very movie-like, which is essentially my life at this point. But with that, I will let you guys go, and I will see you very soon for October setup because I want to do some more drawing. So I will see you in a week.